Hey guys, I'm Gina and I'm a speech therapist. I make videos just to help you out with your children all the way from birth through their school career. So if there's something you want to know more about, if your child's struggling with something at school or maybe even in speech therapy, comment down below. I make videos for parents specifically every single day, so just let me know. Also, please subscribe and ring the bell. I post new videos every single week, so I don't want you to miss out on something that can be helpful for you and your child. We're starting a new series today. This series is going to prepare your children from preschool all the way to second grade for reading, writing, and spelling. So how do we do this? First, you have to make sure your child can actually understand the sounds that letters make. Not just tell you that that's a letter A, but that it makes two different sounds, like A as an apple or A as an ape. Really important for them to understand sounds so that they can be prepared for reading, writing, and then even spelling. They'll begin spelling when they're 7 or 8 years old. So these early forming skills are very, very important for your children. So at 18 months, I expect children, as a speech therapist, to be able to say 3 to 6 consonant sounds. At 24 months, I expect them to say 6 to 8 consonant sounds. By the time they're 36 months, I always look for children to say 9 to 12 consonant sounds. And by that 24-month mark, they should be saying most of their vowels. So if your child's not doing this, definitely talk to the doctors and make sure that there's not something else. Maybe a speech therapist could come out and do an evaluation just to make sure that they're not falling behind so that they can stay on track for all of these skills. So the first video in my series is going to cover just this. What sounds do letters make? And how often for you as the parent is important for your child to be practicing. So what my video is going to do is tell you the sounds and then tell you by what age for the initial part of the word, the middle part of the word, and the final part of the word that your child should actually have these sounds and have mastered them is what we call it. So for every letter, I'm going to go through the alphabet with you guys and tell you when I expect them to get these sounds so you can make sure your kids are on track and how to teach it to them. I'm hoping for your children to be able to practice 2 times a day. So I'm going to put a second video for this first part of the series that's just about practice. It's going to take the stuff that we talk about in more detail and break it down for practice exercises. So make sure you look for 1A, which is going to be the second video for this first part of the series. Let me know if you guys have questions and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. All right, parents, so part 1 of the phonemic awareness series is just letter sounds. It's important for your child to be able to identify a letter, but in order to read, write, and spell, they'll need to understand the sounds. So I will run through when each sound should be mastered with you and give you some tips for helping your child. To go along with the series, I've created 2 sets of exercise for your child. The first set will be to just identify the sounds associated with each letter. The second set includes clues, so ways your child can shape their lips or tongue to form these sounds. There's also specific videos created on my channel for each sound if there's a certain sound your child is having trouble with, so make sure to check it out. Stop sounds are much harder to say. They're short sounds where they don't have a vowel following them, so we see a lot more distortions in this area. Continuous sounds almost sound song-like. They flow together and are much longer. Children don't normally have as much trouble saying these sounds. Most vowel sounds are mastered by the age of 2 years old. There are 2 different A sounds you'll see in the practice video for your children, so make sure that they understand A has a sound like an apple, A, and A as an ape. It's really important that they understand that vowels have 2 different sounds. You can teach your child to say the B sound by teaching them to firmly press both lips together and push out air. These sounds are all mastered by the age of 3. Spelling is tricky in English since the C sound actually makes a K and an S sound. You'll see in a minute with words like cake and cell phone. It's really important that you explain the different sounds, especially when reading with the C sound in books. It can be very confusing for your child. This is a tough one. If your child struggles to master the D sound at any position of the word, that's the first part, in the middle, or at the end, make sure you check out the videos that I have specific for each sound. Since you understand that vowels have two sounds, it's very important for you to be a good model for your child and make sure that they understand this when you're reading and showing them things, starting with the letter E, out and about, looking for new ways to incorporate language in your daily life for your child. The F sound can be a very difficult sound to master. You will tell your child to bite down just like a cheeseburger, put their top teeth on their lower lip. Check out my video for extra help. The G sound's another tricky one, since it actually makes a J sound as well as a G sound. It's very important that your child understands there are many examples of this. So make sure you look for good opportunities to show your child different G sounds when you're out and about. The H sound is formed in the back of the mouth. Most children pick up this sound easily as they're exposed to it in words like hot or high. You'll see them pick this up early. Now that you know vowels have two different sounds, it's important to understand there's a short sound like I and a long sound like I. So being mindful of this, and when you show representation to your child, use your hands to visually drag out a sound for a longer vowel sound like I and ice cream. J makes the same sound that we saw with giraffe. So it's really important to make sure that you teach your child how to say this sound. We already talked about the K sound a little bit when we looked at the C sound. So give your child examples. If you need help, check out my video of how to say the K sound. L can be a tricky sound for your child as well. Please check out the video. You'll teach them to stick their tongue out and then the tip of their tongue behind their upper teeth. Great job working hard, parent. The M sound is an early sound or a lip sound. We put both lips together with firm pressure and then keep your mouth together and vibrate the air inside. It's also a nasal, just like N. But with N, you put the teeth together and vibrate the air inside. You try not to let the air escape because it comes out through your nose. Great job. Most of the differences with the O sound are actually about the lip shape. You'll notice when you say ah, your mouth is wider. And when you say O, you have more of a rounded lip shape. So teach your children about lip shapes. Just experiment and see what you think so that you can give your child clues when you're looking at words or making animal sounds. P is another lip sound. It's normally mastered much earlier. So put the lips together and get those P sounds puckering. Q is a tricky sound since it's a combination of the K and the W sound. You'll notice that the sound moves from the back of the mouth to the front and your lips will round. R is a very challenging sound for a lot of children. Check out my video for some help with R. If your child's struggling with a specific variation, comment down below and I'll be happy to make a video. S sound, make sure that the tongue doesn't escape. Keep the teeth together and blow air past them. Check out my videos for help with S and T. T is really tricky since the tongue actually flaps inside of the mouth to make this sound. But make sure you encourage your child to always keep trying. When you're teaching long and short sounds, make sure you use your hands. So for an US sound, you could do a quick burst with your hand. Or for a U, like in glue, drag it out and really show them that U sound. Some teachers will teach them to drag the sound out on their arm. For the V sound, you'll make a similar mouth as you would with an F, so you'll bite down the top teeth onto the lower lip and push air over. Check out my video for extra help. W comes from the back of the mouth and pushes sound to the front, but the mouth shape is very important that your child has a round mouth for W. X is another really tricky sound since it's a combination of a K and an S sound. So check out both videos and then try to blend the sounds together with your child. Y sound is formed a little bit later, around 5 years old, but the sound comes from the back of their mouth. Not a lot of children do have issues with the Y sound. The main difference between S and Z is that one of the sounds is voiced, so it'll be louder and there'll be more vibration inside of the mouth. I encourage you to set up your child with practice exercise videos 2 times a day. Each video is about 5 minutes. You don't have to necessarily be sitting with your child for this time, so it's a great way for them to sit there and be entertained and occupied and still learning while you're getting ready for dinner or just putting the laundry away. There are 2 different sets though. The first set is just basic. It includes just the letter sounds. If your child seems to be having trouble with specific sounds, then I encourage you to try the clues video. It's the same video, but with clues about mouth shapes and tongue position. So make sure you move to that one if they're having trouble. If your child is having trouble with something specific, please make sure to comment down below. I make new videos for parents every single day. I'm happy to help you. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.